with Julian Hyden. The best thing I think when I was on my way, I thought about the fact that I've been here for 14 years, and all of us have at one point or another had a player up here. And I thought to myself, if we all took out an index card and wrote an adjective that the coach that was standing up here was going to say about their player, most of those adjectives would be relatively in the same realm. We would hear hard work, leadership, et cetera, et cetera. But I think with Julian Hyden, his path was slightly different, and I think there'd be other adjectives on his card. We recruited Julian out of Ben Salem High School, where my assistant saw him, and I immediately went to his game. And when we recruit, we have 3S rule. You can be soft, you can be selfish, and you can be stupid. But you can only be one of them. You can't be all three. We feel we can work with one of those three things. And I sat with Julian the other day in my office telling him he was going to get this award, and we thought he was really soft. So I kind of left that game telling my assistant, who's now at Arcadia, who did a good job staying on him, and I said, I don't think we should take him. And then with his persistence, Julian's persistence, he told me to keep up with him, take a look at him again. I called down to Ben Salem High School, and I found out that he had close to 1,100 on the two-part SAT, and he had good grades. So that kind of brought him back. We went to another game or two, and we thought we can work with him. Needless to say, though, when he got here, we kind of have a rule. We have an academic resource center that all of our freshmen through the whole year go to one tutoring hour of every class they have for their whole year. Many of our sophomores continue with that, but it's not as mandatory. So Julian kind of balked at that at the beginning because he felt his academic standards were already okay. And I tried to explain to him that I think that college, when you go to college, it's like a basketball game. You're already pretty good at it, but you have to learn other things about it. Time management and procrastination are two words that you might want to put on Julian's index card when we talk about him as his freshman year. He missed a couple of those tutoring sessions in early to late September, which gave him strike number 2. And then I remember exactly where I was. I was on my way back from the Brendan Carr Coaches Clinic the first week of October, and I got this email from our Academic Resource Center director. And we have this program that's very communicative, what I like about it. When the kids go to a tutoring session, the tutor has to write a summary about what they did with that kid. And that summary goes to the professor, and it goes to the director of the ARC. And the director of the ARC sends it to me. And I'll never forget what that summary said. It said, the class is easy, I don't need to be here, and the only reason I'm here is because my coach makes me come. And that's what he wrote on, or that's what the tutor wrote, and that was strike 3 for him. So we cut ties with Julian during his freshman year. And ironically, I told him I was going to say this, he went ineligible at Christmas of that same year. And he went deep ineligible. So coming back full circle, my assistant took a liking to him, obviously, and kind of convinced me to give him a second chance, because the second semester he did so well that he got his grades back to just barely eligible. But here we are 3 years later, and those same words that all of you would write on the index cards about your players, the leadership, the good basketball player, hard work. He has a 3.0 GPA now. So he's now putting to work that brain that I knew that he always had. He's come around, he's learned how to play the academic game, and as I hope some of the guys in our league would say, he knows how to play that basketball game too. He's averaging 18 a game. He has 9 rebounds. The last 2 games he had 32 and 15 and 30 and 11. So those were his last 2. I think he's an MVP candidate for our league, and I'm very proud of his path, because it's all about where you finish, not where you start. So without any further ado, I'd like to bring up our recipient from Gwinnett Mercer University, Julian Hyden.
First off, I want to thank the Small College Coaches Association for having me. It's truly an honor to be here. I want to thank my coach for believing in me and staying with me. And hopefully, for the rest of the season, I could bring back a championship for him as a payoff and a token of what he means to me as a player. And thank you. All right, Coach.